Hey guys, what's up? It's Teeds here coming at you with another Tips with Teeds in College Football 25. Today, I'm going to be going over coverage shells. But before we jump into it, if you can please leave a like, if you're new to the channel, subscribe, and don't forget to turn on your notifications so you don't miss another Tips with Teeds in College Football 25. So coverage shells are really cool, honestly. I just started doing them within the last week or so. I thought it was way over my head to understand what to expect, how to do them, and to make sure that your players weren't out of position. But to be honest, they're not as difficult as you would think in order to set these up. Honestly, it's very, very easy, and just give me a few minutes, watch this video, and let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Let me know if you guys use them as well, if you have success with them, what coverages you like to disguise, and from there on. As you see here on the top screen, I generally like to play out a nickel unless it's an obvious passing down that I'll go into dime. But when you're in nickel, for example, if you look down underneath the middle play there, it says shell with the right stick. It says it's currently at default, meaning that whatever coverage you are currently going to be using, whether it's cover 3, cover 2, cover 0, whichever it is, that will be shown. So if your opponent understands coverages and knows what to look for and knows what beats certain coverages, that could be a very big disadvantage to you because they might line up to the ball and then base off what coverage you show, audible to something that would benefit them more and give them a higher chance of beating your current coverage. So currently what I'm going to do here is if you scroll to the right, you can see all the coverages that it'll work with. Cover 0, cover 2 man, cover 2, cover 3, cover 4, and cover 6, I believe is the last one, yeah. So for example here, I'm going to set myself up in cover 2. So I'm going to be using cover 3 match as the example, and cover 3 match is very, very good at stopping corner routes. So if you're getting beat by corner routes, well then this is a good way to disguise your coverage to show that you're still going to be maybe going in cover 2, which is very, very exposable, should I say, with cover 2. You can easily expose cover 2 with corner routes, but in cover 3, it stops it. So for example, if you use a cover 2 shell, that shows that you're in cover 2, even though you're really in cover 3. So as you see here, I selected the play, and this is how it looks. Traditionally, the cover 3 look, you really have one safety back. So you have like a one high safety pretty much, and then that's pretty much how it looks like across the board. But with cover 2 shell, you have 2 high safeties, and obviously it looks like you're doing cover 2. And again, with cover 2, you can easily beat corner routes in it. But when you're playing with the cover 2 shell, but really playing cover 3, that means that your defense is going to play a little bit differently. As you see, that right safety is going to be playing in that little corner route spot. And then you have that left cornerback on the left side. He's going to be backing up to cover the left corner spot. So again, it depends on who you're playing against, what you're getting beat with, and how to stop it. This is really a good way on how to disguise. This is just one example, but I'm going to be running a play that essentially is a corner route play, which is with the tight end here. He's going to be running a corner route. I'm just going to show you how effective it is because at the same time, if I see this over the top, I think, okay, well, a corner route is definitely going to beat this if it is zone because it is cover 2. And I know that just from experience, and the more you do something, obviously, the easier it becomes. So essentially, this corner route should be stopped easily. Here, let's see, drop back to pass, hike it, boom, easily intercepted there. Again, corner route, I might have thrown it a little bit too early, but you should pick up the concept that essentially what I'm trying to do is hide that I'm in cover 3 because cover 3 stops corner routes very, very effectively. And when you're in cover 2, that might be a mismatch to somebody who knows their coverages. Again, I'll hike it. And boom, easy interception there. Again, I might have thrown it a little bit too early, but number 4 was right there regardless. As I'll run it one more time here. Let's try it one more time here. Easily picked. I was able to do it with 2 controllers. Kudos to me for that one. But essentially, that is what you are trying to do in this game, is show something else and trick your opponent. Because some people are really good at understanding coverages, and once you play a little bit and you start understanding how coverages work, it's not as difficult as you think. But this is just one example of why you want to use coverage shells in College Football 25. For my next example, I'm going to be going with cover 2, but using a cover 3 shell. As you see here, previously in my last example, I told you that a cover 3 shell generally has one deep safety. As you see, the safety's back there, and I will show you the defensive play right here. As I'm currently running cover 2, and you see the right safety right there. He's actually looking like the cornerback on the right side. So they are a little bit out of position, but as long as as soon as the ball is hiked, they get back to their spot, they should be fine in this setup here. But essentially what you have is 3 little mid-read or hook curl, hook zone curl defenders, the left cornerback, the middle linebacker, and then the linebacker on the right side of the center. And they are going to be trying to stop the drag routes over the middle. And that is what cover two is very good at stopping. All the underneath passes, they're really good at stopping that. And so that is one thing you also want to use for the cover shells. Again, this is just another example why I am trying to show this, because when I see this, I think, okay, this is cover three. I'm going to try to stay away from corner routes, because corner routes are going to be stopped with this. So now I change my thought process to what works against cover three: flats, drag routes, and things like that. So let's see how effective this is here. Throwing it right here, and I do make the tackle right away. Again, you're stopping them, and sometimes you might set yourself up for an interception if you are using that middle linebacker, because they are not expecting it. Again, I'm using two controllers here, so I can't user the middle linebacker like I would like to and show you just how easy it is to intercept the pass when they are thinking they are in cover three. But I hope you can grasp this, because it is more difficult than Civil and other gamers make it look when they try to use this. As again, I'm drawing back to pass. It's open, but I'm not able to get much there, maybe 5 yards. And that's honestly a win, depending on how well you do on the other downs. But it just gives them something to think about, that, hey, not every single coverage that I am showing you is the correct coverage. One last example, drop back to pass, making the catch, but again, it's short. And if I have a user, I'm telling you, I'm going to pick this off 9 times out of 10, because I am expecting those drag routes over the middle, and I bait people a lot. And that is my goal, is to make it look like they're open until the last second. But that is what you do with a cover three shell when you're going up against cover two. So my next example is disguising your cover zero blitz with a cover two shell. By doing this, it looks like you're going up against cover two man or cover two zone. It looks a little bit like it could be zone, because number 6, Samson, on the right side there, looks essentially unblocked there. So it looks like it potentially could be zone. But the fact of the matter is that you think it's either going to be cover two zone or it's going to be cover two man. They are not expecting this, which is a blitz. Both linebackers are blitzing, and honestly, I doubt that if you're looking at this, you're thinking that the tight end is getting guarded by the left safety. Now, one other thing that I forgot to mention earlier in the video is, not only do you want to try to disguise and throw off your opponent, but another goal is to get your quarterback that you're going up against to hold the ball for an extra second or two. Because not only does that mean that they're going to get a little bit more trigger happy, but on top of that, you're going to give your defensive line a little bit more time to penetrate the offensive line and get a sack, maybe force a fumble or a bad throw that ends up in one of those crazy interceptions by the defensive tackle that he takes all the way back for 6. But if you're just looking at this right here, you definitely can think that it's cover 2, when essentially it is a cover 0. And if you've seen in my other videos, when I go over cover 0, you're looking for that picket fence. And if you see that picket fence, or basically a line of all the defensive backs all lined up next to each other, you can tell that there is going to be a blitz there, because that there's also going to be no safety help. Here, it looks like there's safety help. Even if you don't realize it and you think it's cover 2, it's going to throw you off a second, because you're not expecting that blitz. Unless, of course, you have maybe a quarterback that has their field general ability and you don't get tricked by one of my other videos on how to maybe trick it. But take a look at this. So like right here, I'm running double ends here. And if I'm not paying attention, they're both blitzing here. And I throw that, and if I'm playing Oregon, I am picking that one off. I'm switching to 0 really quickly and easily using that. But he was barely able to make that play. But nothing like being like, oh my gosh, it's not cover 2. What now? And boom, sack. You hold on to it for an extra second, and you get sacked. And because you don't even expect it to be a blitz, you don't change any of your blocking things either. Let's see if there is anything you can really do. It doesn't really look like there's too much here, because I am bringing one more blocker than there is going to be blitzers, because you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blitzers, technically people that are going to be rushing the quarterback. And once you take out the tight end, you only have 5. Now, because of that, that could really throw things off, because I have one free blitzer here. Oh no, where do I go with the ball? Where do I go? I'm going to throw it. Oh, and that one could have been picked as well. So you got to keep in mind that this could throw off the user. There's many good outcomes that can come from this cover shell, because you're hiding your blitz and you're disguising your blitz. And this is kind of what NFL teams do in the real world. They disguise their blitzes somehow. Yes, you're going to have your players out of position, obviously, right? You see this, and if you know, for whatever reason, somehow you know that you're going to have that tight end, and there's no chance that they can do anything there, well, then you're obviously going to throw that tight end, let's just say, on a quick little out route, right? Or actually, If it is man, let's throw him on. Can I do a little flat? I can. Throw him on a little flat route. Look at this. So watch. If you know this happening, obviously your players are going to be out of position, but you're just hoping that they did not pick up that this was a cover 0 blitz. You're gonna have them making a lot of bad decisions here, because this is just so hard to stop. And I didn't mean to look at that offense, because this is just so hard to stop. I mean, like, take a look at this. If you know that it's this, well then yeah, you have the advantage. But no ability in this game tells you exactly what defense it is. It might tell you cover 0, but even if it does tell you cover 0, you're going to know, and you should be aware that if you are playing against a player that has a field general, ability, you want to be aware of that, because that could really negate you wanting to use cover shells, because they're going to be able to read your defense regardless of what it is if they are moving the ball. But like I said, this could really throw people off here, because essentially I'm thinking, oh wow, okay, this is man coverage and there's no one on, RB. Well, let's throw him on a streak. Well, if I throw him on a streak, essentially that safety, he's not dropping back. He's guarding Samson. So if I just throw him on a streak, which is what I like to do in some situations here, I throw it right to him, and boom, that's stopped. That can easily get picked. You got to be very, very smart about this, but you got to keep in mind as well, one last thing that I'll touch on is when you are in cover shells, your players are probably going to be out of position, like I just showed you above. Right here, when you see the safeties, they really have, a lot of room to cover, a lot of ground to cover, and they're going to be out of position. But the hope is that the offense, the user who's using the offense, takes an extra second or two to realize this, and it's too late because your free blitzer gets to the quarterback before anything bad happens. So keep that in mind as well, because sometimes you will put yourself in bad positions when you do use coverage shells. But that is it for the video, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you guys got something out of this, please leave a like. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. And also make sure to turn on those notifications so you don't miss another Tips with Tees in College Football 25. Thanks. I'm out. Peace.